Budmo, as you might be aware by now, is the online expert in terms of spare parts. If you want a spare part for your vehicle, they have it in their list. They have the most extensive spare parts catalog, right from the most affordable small car to the top of the line luxury car, you name the car, and they have the spare parts for it. And the best point is that they have the spare parts from a host of different component makers and different price segments for the same spare part. So if you want to buy a cheaper part from a different maker or a more expensive part from a different component maker, they have the option for you. So inside the cabin of the new Hector Plus, and this car, the Hector, already had a lot of features, so I don't have to tell you that this car also comes loaded with the best gadgets and gizmos. In fact, just think about anything and this car has it. You of course get a panoramic sunroof. You can use your voice activated commands to open and close the sunroof, and this screen over here is the best in the business. It's placed like this, longitudinally, not horizontally, so it's very easy to navigate through, and you only get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons over here, which makes it a very easy place to be in. A lot of other cars get a plethora of buttons which can confuse you, but not inside the cabin of the Hector Plus. It is, as I said, the best system. It's as easy to operate as an Apple iPad, and really MG have thought of everything. The quality inside the cabin is very good. The top of the dashboard, the top of the door panels. Well, so I'm inside the cabin now of the Tata Safari, and in terms of the looks, it's a nice and fresh cabin. The seat comfort definitely is ahead of the MG Hector Plus, but what you will really like about this car is the fact that you get very good build quality all across. The plastics are good, the small switches are good, and even the doors, when they shut, have a very nice and positive sound about themselves, so they really feel nice and opulent. Now, some of the features are missing on this car compared to that one. Like you don't get cool front seats, and you also don't get those features where you can talk and say, well, open the sunroof and stuff like that. So those fancy features and gimmicky features are missing, but on the whole, it's a nice place to be. The seats definitely are more comfortable. You get different driving modes, you get different traction modes, and of course you get an electric button for the handbrake, which is something which makes the car feel more opulent. Overall, I reckon that the Safari has a slight advantage over the MG Hector Plus in the ambience, in the comfort, and the overall appeal of the cabin, and definitely half a point more to this car because of that. Now let's jump in the back seat and see which one offers you more comfort and which one feels more opulent in the back seat. Hi guys, so now I'm in the second row of seats of the Hector Plus, and of course, as you can see, this is a captain seat over here, and I have to say that in terms of seat comfort, these seats easily rival the best in the business, which is the Innova, and these seats really offer you great amounts of comfort, and the support for the lower back is very good, support for your under thighs is very good, and my for reference, if you haven't been watching my videos, is 5'10", and if you're 5'10", 5'11", even if you're about 6, you'll have ample headroom, loads of knee room. In fact, knee room is one of the best on any SUV in the business, and really you won't need any more space than this. You also get a completely flat floorboard, which is a big boon, and of course you can adjust these seats, you can adjust the backrest angle, and you can also take them forward in case you have someone tall behind you, and even when you take them all the way forward, you've got plenty of place. Well, overall, you can choose the Safari with either a 6-seater or a 7-seater option, and in both the options, you get a very comfortable seat. The captain seats obviously are more comfortable, but even the bench offers you great support, great cushioning, and overall good amounts of space as well. The ambience inside the car is also half a notch above the MG Hector Plus because the materials are slightly better, and just like the Hector Plus, you also get a panoramic sunroof, and you can move the seats forward or backwards. And I have to say that these seats are surprisingly very good for sitting over here because you get very good cushioning and very good support even for your lower back. Now these seats are slightly on the lower side, so your knees are slightly up, and my height for reference is 5'10", if you have forgotten, and even for someone who's about 5'10", and I've adjusted this seat and the front seat for my height, even then I am quite okay in these seats. I don't think I can call myself uncomfortable, and for short city trips or for about a couple of hours when you're traveling with your family, someone who's 5'10" should be quite okay. Well, so I'm in the last row of the Tata Safari seats. Now in terms of the overall space and comfort, I reckon that both these cars are very similar. Even the Hector Plus has very similar amount of space, so you can't really choose which one is better in this department. Ideally, it's a decent place to be for someone who's about 5'7" or 5'8", but you will of course want to be for long distance trips in the middle seats. But yes, these seats are not compromised in the least, and definitely the Safari is a genuine 6 or 7 seater, and these seats at the back have decent space in them. Now let's jump in the front seat and drive this car around and tell you how it is compared to the Hector Plus. When you're driving this car on the highway, when you're really going up, doing speeds in excess of 100 kph, the cabin remains a very quiet place, and it's also very well cocooned from the world outside. There's no tire noise, no wind whistle, no engine roar, and that makes it a great car for long distance journeys. In fact, it's a great car. If you enjoy driving yourself, you'll truly appreciate this car, and that's because this car has very light controls. The steering wheel is light, the gearbox is light, the clutch is light, and even though it's light, it's quite accurate, and even though it's light, it has a good amount of feedback as well as feel. So if you take this car out on the highway, you'll never feel nervous driving this car, and you'll simply enjoy the experience on this car. But what also makes the Hector Plus such a nice car is the very cushiony ride. At slow city speeds, it really absorbs the bumps quite well, and overall I think as a family car, as a car which offers you good drivability, good refinement, as well as great power, I think this car ticks all the boxes, and it's a car that you'll truly enjoy driving, no matter if you're driving it yourself in the city or taking it out on that long distance journey on the highway. Well, so here I'm driving the Tata Safari. Now both these cars have the same engine. Yes, both of them use the same 2 litres turbocharged diesel engine, and well, refinement levels are different on both these cars. This one seems a little quieter compared to the Hector Plus, and it also seems like the engine is more relaxed, because this car comes with a 6-speed automatic gearbox as well as 6-speed manual, and somehow it seems the Tata engineers have done a better job with the cabin isolation, with the insulation of the cabin overall. One more area where this car feels better is in terms of the ride comfort. The ride on this car definitely has the advantage. It soaks in the bumps better, it feels better planted, and those rumble strip, those badly patched ribbons and all those other things simply are annihilated by the Safari. In fact, it seems as if the road is completely smooth and the surfaces they're driving on are completely smooth. So in that sense also, this car has a big advantage and a big leg up over the MG Hector Plus. Now, as I said, the engines are the same, so you'll think that the performance levels are very similar, and you're right, mostly because the performance of both these engines is more or less the same. There's a little bit of turbo lag below 2000 RPM, and once you cross that figure, there's loads of power all the way up to its rail line of about 4500 RPM. Now, in terms of the gearing of the Safari, I think is slightly better. The manual gearbox is a gearbox I'd avoid on both the cars, because the manual isn't the best in the business. Both the cars need a heavy hand to shift on the manuals. It's the automatic of the Safari which really does stand out, because the automatic gearbox is a 6-speed unit. It's a borrowed unit again from Hyundai, and it's a fantastic gearbox. The shifts are smooth, crisp, and completely effortless. Both upshifts and downshifts are very good, and in that sense this car has the advantage. One more area where this car has the advantage is in terms of the overall ride comfort, and along with that, in terms of the steering wheel feedback. With the steering wheel of the Safari, well, it's not the ultimate steering wheel, but since we're comparing both these cars, it feels better, directed, and it's better than the Hector because it feels more direct, it feels more precise, and definitely feels better weighed. The Hector's steering wheel is decent in operation, but this one has the advantage in the steering wheel comparison. Overall though, which car should you choose if you are a keen driver? Well, I think that the automatic version of the Safari stands out, and I would give it a slightly better score in today's comparison, both in terms of refinement, in terms of drivability, in terms of ride comfort, as well as self-driving. This one definitely has a clear advantage.